welcome back to another episode of Crazy Little Book Page, where I talk about books and the pages in them. So I had to make this clip, and it's going to be a little bit of a ranty clip, and I do apologize. I'm probably going to be the unpopular opinion about this, but take it as you will. I'm kind of a prude. I am drinking a Caesar right now. Okay, so as a parent, and I'm bringing this up because I'm watching Chelsea Darling Reed's Contemporary-a-thon Day 4 vlog. I love all the ladies who do Contemporary-a-thon. I'm not participating this round because life. But she's talking about a book that's a YA contemporary, and apparently it has a lot of smut in it. And from the first page, talks about anal sex. So as a parent myself of a young, well, he's not really a young child. He's like a middle grader, 11. He's a preteen. I don't want my kid reading smutty books when they're 12, 13, 14 years old. And I feel like a lot of YA is geared around that. And I totally think that in YA fiction, it's inappropriate to put sex scenes in books. And my thoughts for this is, as a parent, I don't want my kids participating in sex until they're like 16, 17, older teenagers. Like, I know it happens. I know sex happens. I get how babies are made, but I think that normalizing it for young adult teenagers is not a good thing. Talking about anal sex or smutty sex scenes in YA books, this is just my opinion, should not be done. When I was a young adult, I was not reading smut. I was not reading, like, sex scenes in books. Yes, I've known since I was, like, 8 years old what sex is and how babies are made, but there are certain things that should be left for adults, and children should be allowed to be children for as long as humanly possible. And as a parent, I firmly believe this. And you can tell me down in the comments if you agree with me or not, but I think that's just where I'm at in this. And I don't know, maybe it's my old age and my prudishness coming through, but I just think that let's let teenagers be children and teenagers for as long as humanly possible. They grow up so fast and way too fast sometimes, and being that I got pregnant my last year of high school, and I went to school full of girls. Like, I went to a school for pregnant and parenting teen moms, and there were 12 and 13-year-old girls that were pregnant in this school who didn't even understand how they got pregnant, like how they got there. They knew what sex was. They'd been reading books like this, and they would tell me, like, I read in books how sex happens, but they don't really understand the consequences of that, really. Even though books talk about teenage pregnancy, they still don't get the understanding and consequence of sex has real consequences. Unprotected sex has real consequences other than STIs or whatnot. Teenage pregnancy is a very real thing, and I think normalizing that and making it a societal norm is just, it goes too far sometimes, I think. And so with that, I'm going to leave it here until the next clip. I do apologize if you don't agree with my opinion. That's perfectly fine. Your opinions are very valid. But also, yeah, just comment down in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with me and why. You're going to watch me eat some noodles while we talk about the last book that I just listened to. I finished another book, I See You. Let me just check and make sure that's what it's called. I'll post a picture of it up here. Yeah, it was called I See You by Claire McIntosh. It's a psychological domestic thriller. It was good. I rated it 3 stars because it wasn't great, and I normally don't rate thrillers 5 stars. But it was good. I was not expecting the twist at the end. It's told in 2 different timelines, from the potential victim perspective, or one of the girls who is targeted, and the DIs. So a DI is a detective in England. It's set in Britain, which I do tend to like British thrillers and crime novels because it gives me a sense of being, like, getting in touch with my my roots because my mom actually is from Britain. So I've always enjoyed British culture. I've always enjoyed British books. I like stuff based in the UK. So I did enjoy this book, although I thought the main victim person was kind of stupid. So that's why I only rated it 3 stars. However, it was a decent book. So yeah, that's one book done for me today, or this week. I'm pretty sure I've read her debut book too, I Let You Go. Oh, no, I haven't read it, so I might actually go look for that in my library. And I am about 35% of the way through in Pepper in Peril. It's going pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy cozy mysteries. They're probably my favorite mystery thrillers. There's that. And I am also powering through Stephen King still. I haven't read much of it. I'm about 20% of the way through now. It's a big boy, so it's going to take me a while to finish it. But I am not disappointed in the books that I have read, because I have read 7 books this month. 7! Which makes me very happy. Hello! So, my pre-order of this big boy came in today. It's Samantha Shannon's The Priority of the Orange. And this is probably one of my most anticipated fantasy reads of 2019, because I've read her entire The Bone Season series and I really enjoyed it, so I want to see how her debut adult fantasy is, and if I like it just as much as I like The Bone Season. We'll see. It's a rather intimidating 808 pages of big book, but it came in a week early, which makes me happy because my other book that I had on pre-order on the come up came a week after it came out, so I guess this makes up for it. Hello. So after I got this big boy from my pre-order, I got some mail from Simon & Schuster Canada, which makes me super excited because this is a book that I have also been anticipating this year, and it's a historical romance, and it's a arc that I've requested, and usually I'm only getting like 1 or 2 arcs that I'm requesting lately from Simon & Schuster, which is unfortunate, but I got Genevieve Graham's new book that's coming out on April 2nd, 2019, called At the Mountain's Edge, and it's a historical romance set in the Yukon during the gold rush of 1867 between a girl named Liza and Northwest Mounted Police, which was our police force before the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. His name is Ben, and it's about their journey to Dawson City, Yukon, and something happens that threatens to tear them apart, which they must let go of the past in order to not only be together but to survive. So I am so excited for this. Thank you so much, Simon & Schuster. I would have unboxed it for you, but they have my address very blatant on both sides of the envelope it came in. They also confirmed in a letter that I'll be getting digital copies of the other arcs that I requested, which there were only like 2 or 3 of them that I requested. So I'm so excited about that. Thanks again, Simon & Schuster. I really, really appreciate this physical arc of At the Mountain's Edge. Hey, so I forgot to let you guys know that I finished the Sea Witch, not yesterday, but the day before. And I'm about 90% of the way through Ash Princess right now. But I did finish the Sea Witch. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. I can't check on Goodreads right now because I'm on my phone and not near a computer, but I really enjoyed it. It's a Little Mermaid retelling in the perspective of Ursula, so to speak. Like the characters aren't named Ariel and Ursula, but it's that story, and I really enjoyed it. Ursula is one of my favorite Disney villains after Maleficent. and it was a great book. So if you like fairy tale retellings and The Little Mermaid, you should definitely go check this out. I'll have a bit of a better wrap up at the end of this video because it's been a couple days since I read it and it hasn't really sunk in on me yet, but I did enjoy it. It basically follows this girl who's in love with this one prince, and his cousin needs to be convinced to fall in love with this mermaid girl who looks a lot like their friend who died, and I can't tell you a whole bunch about it because it would spoil the book, but the twist at the end was amazing, and I cannot wait to read the next in this book series because it was so good. I cannot wait to find out what happens to Evie, and yeah. So I just wanted to update you and let you know that I have finished 2 books this readathon, and I'm about 65% of the way through in Peppermint Peril, so I should be done it before Friday, and that makes me very happy. So 2 books done so far this week, which is still fine. I'm reading a little bit slower than normal, but that's okay, or a little bit slower than I was last week, but that's okay. I've been trying to relax a little because last week was a really heavy reading week and I don't usually read that much. I have made about 11 pages in to The Priory of the Orange Tree, which got me to chapter 2, and so far it's an excellently written book. I'm so happy with it right now. So I got an Amazon Fire 7 today so I can read better on my ebooks. I have a lot of trouble reading on my phone, and so I don't really read ebooks a lot, but I needed something that would allow me to read better on my Kindle and Overdrive app, so I've picked this up. So I'll put Scribd and Amazon Audible and the Kindle and Overdrive on this as well. So I just finished in Peppermint Peril. I don't know if you can see that's the cover of it. It is the first book in a tea and read mystery series, which got changed to a book tea mystery series by Joy Avon, and it was a really cute story, actually. I really enjoyed it as much as the Sweet Tea and Secrets book in that series. It was so good. I'm going to return it to my library now, early. I had like 8 days left on it, so I have 8 days left on my audiobook as well. I truly enjoyed this story. The story follows Callie and Falk obviously from the second book, while they solve a mystery of who killed the gardener of Haywood Hall, and by the end of it, it just keeps you on your toes, and I never expected to actually be shocked by the killer, but again, I was. I really enjoy cozy mysteries. They are very comforting, and I just really enjoyed that book. So this makes 15 books for the year and 9 books so far that I have read in February, which is amazing. I don't think I've ever read that many books in a month in a long time, so I'm so stoked. So I'm 26% of the way into Her by Brittany King, and I gotta tell you, I really enjoy Brittany's writing. I've read a couple of her other books, and they are fantastic. So if you've never read Brittany King, you need to pick her up. This is a psychological thriller about a woman named Anne, and a woman named Sadie, and it follows a timeline. It starts out with Sadie basically planning to kill Anne, and then it goes back to then, and it tells the story leading up to how it got that way. So without giving up too much of the plot, it's very intriguing and really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. I also did finish In Peppermint Peril. I think I said that in my last clip. So for this week, I have finished 2 books, and I'm almost finished The Ash Princess, which I plan to listen to tomorrow to finish it off. And then that'll be 3 that I've done this week, and which is fine. I mean, not as many as last week, but you know, what can you do? So welcome to the last clip of the week. I am 57% through the book Her by Brittany King, which is a psychological thriller that follows 2 women, one named Anne and another named... I've just gotten to the part where Anne is starting to realize things about Sadie, and Sadie is starting to like copy things about Anne, and it's a psychological thriller. According to the book, I'm on chapter 26, so I'm 56 of the way percent of the way through. I have about 2 hours left of the book, which I'm gonna read while we're at kids' hockey game, because I have hockey today, so I'll probably finish it today, but I won't have it for this clip. I will show you an actual picture of the cover, like up here, just so you can see how pretty it is. I love Brittany King's writing. I have read so many of her books already. Oh, look at my shirt. It's Einstein in a spacesuit. I love it. So I have read this week, I think it's only like 2.5. I'm halfway through this book. Oh, and I started Priory of the Orange, but I'm only like 1% through it, so I can't even count that. I'll probably get more through it this weekend, but where it's already Saturday, maybe not. I don't know. And I'm still only like 20% of the way through Sleeping Beauties. I'm sorry. I think I finished I See You last week. I finished 4 books this week, I guess. I finished I See You by Claire McIntosh. I finished The Sea Witch by Sarah Henning, which is a Little Mermaid retelling in the version of Ursula. I finished a children's review book called My Footprints, which was so cute. It is about this little girl who's like trying to manage her anger and making footprints of different animals. It's just the cutest thing. And I finished In Peppermint Peril by Joy Avon, and I'm halfway through this book. So I've had a great reading month this month. I've finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books this month so far, and the month isn't even over. Yay me! That's like the biggest amount that I've finished since like December of last year, which I finished 11 books. So I'm hoping maybe I'll finish 11 books this month. I don't know. I have a couple of review books that I have to get done, so maybe I'll focus on those as well. But I do want to read The Priory of the Orange Tree a little more, so we'll see how it goes before the end of the month. And I do promise to put up a end of the month wrap up before or right as March starts. Oh my god, I can't even believe it's almost March. So I will see you next video, and I hope you have a great reading week. Let me know down below what you're reading and how many books you've read this week and what your favorite one was, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!